And today we are driving from the Olifants Rest Camp for a day out at the Letaba Rest Camp on the H1-5, as we've heard that the Letaba Rest Camp has got one of the best camping sites in the Kruger National Park. It's pretty dry, as you can see, but on the way to Letaba, we firstly heard a sound which we didn't encounter very often in the last 3 weeks, and then we actually saw the sound. As far as our knowledge went, we actually didn't know about any airfield in the area, so we weren't actually sure what the plane was doing there. And then we were at the Letaba Rest Camp in the Kruger National Park, and you can just see all the trees. And I'm not even mentioning all the campers that's arriving and departing. It was like a little bit of a mini traffic jam with caravans and campers. And as you enter Letaba Rest Camp, you'll see the reception area on the left. Of course, we were more interested in where the restaurant was at this stage. And after finding the restaurant and, of course, some breakfast, me and the wife was certainly in a much happier mood to explore the camp now and just sit back and enjoy the views. The restaurant and the camp is situated next to a rise along the river Letaba. And of course, there is rains, and then the river is much more fuller. But this is the end of winter nearly, early September, and the river is pretty dry. But I must say that in general, the restaurant offers really very, very nice views across the river basin and just across the plains. The Tintluvu restaurant was again very well situated and the food was very good, as I would expect from the Tintluvu group. The summer heat hadn't arrived yet, so it wasn't oppressive, and I suspect that is why most of the people were sitting outside and just enjoying the views. It was a nice, lovely day, but thinking about it, once it starts getting hot, I think most of the guests would be actually sitting in the restaurant. As mentioned, Olifantskamp has got no camping facilities, but looking at Letaba, I must say that this certainly was the rest camp in the Kruger Park that by far had the loveliest shady large trees and many campers and caravans and people that just had their tents out, and literally it was actually amazing to see all the trees. And there was also an environmental education center. But the thing that interested me the most was all these trees because the surrounding area is very dry. And as you walk into Letaba, you just see these magnificent, large, green, leafy canopy of trees. And then it was time to go and inspect the camping site just to see what's going on. We've heard that it's one of the best camping sites in the Kruger National Park, and we wanted to go and see for ourselves how busy it is and what are all the people up to. So apparently the reason why all the trees are so green is that there's a large reservoir of groundwater underneath the area there at the Letaba Rest Camp. And the trees are able to actually go down into the ground with their roots and absorb some of that water. And this is why they are able to thrive in that specific area, where the surrounding area you don't see any real trees at all. Certainly not of the size trees we saw at the Letaba Rest Camp. It can also be the fact that on the other areas you might find much more elephant activity, which unfortunately is causing a major problem in the Kruger National Park with them destroying that large old trees. And as you can see, there's actually quite a lot of campers as well. And we also saw some interesting ones as well. En hulle kry daai ene. Daar sit 'n mannetjie op die aircon. And then it was time to go and have another look at the large trees as we were heading back to Olifant's camp for another 2 nights, and hope to see some animals on the way back. But the trees were just fascinating to me. It was just so nice. We actually stopped and just looked at the trees.